life around the world. It's time for Inner Mouse, your Disney lifestyle destination with Scott, JL, John, and Nicole. Oh boy! Ha!
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Inner Mouse, the Vidcast for those who are striving to lead a Disney-driven life. I'm JL from the DisneyDrivenLife.com. With me tonight are John, columnist for the Disney Food Blog, Scott from CollectTheMouse.com, and Nicole, NDI, neurotic Disney visual extraordinaire. We have a very exciting episode again for you this evening. We're going to be discussing the inaugural Wine and Dine Marathon weekend that just took place at Disney World. And we're going to be talking also about the role that it played in approximately 14,000 running Disney fanatics.
Wow.
The event included a half marathon, a half marathon relay, 5K, kids races, a health and fitness expo, and a finish line party. And our very own team Intermouser Nicole here participated in this event. So we felt that it was timely to find out from her how this type of thing affected her as she's leading her Disney-driven life. But before we get into all of that, we need to take care of some mousekeeping. And we're going to defer to Scott to take care of that for us. Scott?
I'm so not prepared.
Is he the mousekeeper?
I think so.
Yes, we do. The cool thing was, and I got to give a big shout out to my buddy Shane out on, and it's Shane. Oh yeah, nice. But he is at Shane O'Might on Twitter. But he suggested last week that we really should get some email addresses for us, and we have since done that. And that's a huge thanks to Mike, and his Twitter account is at Main Street Disney. It's at Main ST Disney. And Mike has really been helping us out with the website and stuff. And thanks a lot, Mike. We really appreciate it. So if you have any comments or questions or anything about the show, you can basically, very simply, just email show@innermouse.com. It's that simple. And if you have something specific for, let's say, John, you have a question about pandas and how they hibernate, go ahead and email John. Go ahead and email John at john@innermouse.com. And it works the same for all of us, JL at, Nicole at, and Scott at. So thanks to Shane for that great idea. It was awesome. And thanks to Mike for making it happen for us. And I believe that's it.
Thank you very much, Scott. Now to continue on with our episode. We thought we'd start off this episode by first talking about the marathons more from an objective type standpoint. And we were going to be directing those questions to Nicole since she was the one of the four of us who actually participated in the event. And I believe Scott wanted to start us off with that as well. What you got, Scott?
Well, I'm taking over. Look out. It's going to my head, this new office here, this whole new Inner Mouse office I got going on.
You look awesome.
Well, I have some questions for you, Nicole. One of the things that kind of freaks me out, because I've never been there for a race, is they do these races in the morning, and they have all these people running in through the park. How do they get all the people out before they open the park?
Well, what happens is there is a 16-minute mile requirement, and if you don't do the mile in 16 minutes, supposedly they have this little golf cart thing that will come around and pick you up. So they say 16 minutes, but from my experience, like this weekend, I ran the 5K, and then, which was Saturday morning, and then I went around and got in the cheer section and cheered all my friends in that were, coming in still, and there were, people coming for much longer than what seemed to be 16-minute miles. So I think as long as you are out of where they need you to be, then you'll be okay. And it was really precious. In front of the little sweeper wagons, or whatever they call them, there was
Shout for the sweeper wagon.
The very last people that were finishing the race. Yeah, watch out for the sweeper wagon. Mickey and Minnie, dressed in their Halloween costumes, actually went over to them and grabbed their hands and walked with them across the finish line, which was like, just like the closing of the 5K. It was really magical, and everyone was like, oh, that's so cute. So that was really special. So that's what they do for that.
That's very cool. Very cool. Well, you did 2 of the runs, as far as I know. And where did both runs start and end?
Well, the Mickey's Halloween 5K fun run, or whatever order those words go in, was at the Magic Kingdom. It started at the Transportation and Ticket Center, and it went through the road that goes by the Contemporary that has the big hill, which is never fun to run up, and it went through that way, and then we went into the Magic Kingdom through the gates, which was really cool, around down Main Street, in Tomorrowland, and just all around Magic Kingdom, and then out and then back the same way to the Transportation and Ticket Center. It was very cool.
That is cool.
And then
what about the second run?
the second run, we basically went to California and back. No, it was really cool. We started at the Wide World of Sports. We then went to Animal Kingdom first, and then Hollywood Studios, and then into Epcot. So in that one day, I got to run through all 4 parks. That one started at 10:30 at night, so got a night view of all the parks. It was really cool. Awesome.
It was awesome. Very awesome. My good friend, and all of you know him, Charles on Twitter. He's awesome. Charles actually sent me live video from the run, the first one, and there was Halloween music playing in Magic Kingdom when he went through the run. Was there music playing in all the parks while you were running?
Let me tell you, Scott, that first mile of the 5K in the morning, it was probably about a mile in. There wasn't a whole lot going on. I think there was like one DJ booth, which was cool. And you can hear them, pretty far in the distance, and then you can hear them once you pass them for, a little bit still. But when we got into the Magic Kingdom, when I got in, they were blasting the soundtrack from the Haunted Mansion, and it was like, all the Halloween decorations were up, and it was just awesome. I mean, I'm just like floating still from how cool it was, because it was just so loud, and running through, there were lots of villain characters around there, and it was just awesome. I loved it. And then they played the Boo to You song, came on, Happy Halloween, and all those fun little Boo to You. Let me stop.
Stop it.
That was my next question. No, I'm just kidding. But you are allowed to walk the race, correct? But you were saying about that they have to meet a certain time limit. But one of my questions that I have was, do they allow anybody with a stroller? Because I know there are jogging strollers. And also, I know there are a lot of people that race in wheelchairs that may be a paraplegic or something. Do they allow those as well?
Well, I've done quite a few of the runs at Disney, and I have not seen any runs that allow strollers, just from my experience. They may have them, I'm not sure. Not this weekend, they didn't allow them. And the wheelchair participants get an early start. They were in the half marathon and got about a 2-minute head start before us. We started at 10 at 9:58, then went off. And it was really cool because as we were coming around mile 3, we saw them whizzing around by like mile 8, I think, and you could hear, all of us runners were cheering on the wheelchair participants, which was really cool.
Wow, that has got to be
That's
some
awesome.
Major arm muscles there to do that.
Snaps for them. It was really cool.
That is very, very cool. Nice. Was it? And you said that they had a 2-minute start. Was everybody staggered, or there's no way they ran everybody at the same time, right?
Well, at this race, actually, there were separate corrals for the half marathon. Well, let me start with the 5K. They had signs that said, 9 to 10 minutes or 11 to 13 or however many minutes that you thought each mile would
take you to run. And then they had walkers in the back. And for that, there wasn't anything separating the corrals. So everyone kind of just lined up, according to where they thought they belonged according to pace. For the half marathons, you have to prove with a race time from another race if you think you're going to run under 2:45 or something, 2 hours and 45 minutes, I think, that you have to provide time from another race that, shows that you probably can do that. And they're pretty serious about those corrals. They have you get your corral letter on your bib, your race bib, and you have to go into that corral. And then this race did not have a staggered start, surprisingly. I think there was like 11,000 people, and we had separate corrals, but we all went at the same time. But however, I have done a race there before where there was a staggered start, and it was like a 10-minute staggered start, and there were like 13 corrals. So I literally was standing forever, and it was only a 5K, and it was like, I stood for like twice the time it took me to run the 5K, which was silly. But that was the Animal Kingdom Expedition Everest run, and they had to stagger the start due to insurance purposes because there was a obstacle course at the end, and they could only have so many people doing that at one time. So
Yeah, so are you like stepping on each other?
Well, it gets kind of annoying at points. If you're just, going with the flow and you're not really racing per se, then, you just can take your time, and whoever is in your way, it's fine. But if you're really trying to get a good time, it does get a little frustrating when it's so crammed, because a lot of the time people will, get into a corral and say they're going to go a certain pace and then don't, or there's just so many people on the track at the one time that it's hard to get through. So what I usually do is go in the grass and just go off the course and run around people, because there's just so many people.
And does that kind of break your stride?
It does a little bit, because there's usually, like, the grass is never even, so you're, like, running and then you're like, like, I always, like, kind of fall and stuff, or, like, I'll weave through the people. But I know some of my friends have had their own, like, tracking devices to tell them how far they went in the races, and just from weaving, like, the first mile or mile and a half or whatever, they'll do, like, an extra mile just from weaving in and out of people instead of going on a straight path.
So I ran a 5K even though I wasn't in the marathon. Yay. But it was because the week before the marathon I was trying to get to an ADR.
Well, if I knew that they were going to put you in the Golden Corral first, I would have done the race. And
not that Golden Corral.
Oh.
Wrong corral, John.
Not that corral. No, but yeah, and I had to run in between all the people, and it's really difficult when you're trying to run through Mexico and you're like, ooh, little kid, jump,
That's like a video. That should be a jail video. Oh, little kid, jump. Ooh. Get to Vietnam in 20 minutes or less.
Hey, that's where I ran to. But then I found out that the reservation that my friend made got changed, and she was waiting for me at the La Hacienda. So I had run from the parking lot. I'm serious. I did probably run a 5K. I ran from the parking lot to Epcot
You're preaching to the choir. I did the 5K.
Via Napoli, and then I had to run back to Mexico. Yeah, it was rough. So I thought, you know what, I don't feel real bad about not doing the 5K that weekend because I already did it.
Well, let me just say, despite not doing the 5K or the half, I think you guys did plenty of walking, and everyone there this weekend did plenty of walking because there was so much going on.
Yes.
How many miles is the 5K is one of the questions, and I did forget. It's 5 kilometers?
3.1 miles, Greg.
There you go.
Yep. Now, wait, give me that. From where is that from where to where?
Well, it was from the ticket center into the Magic Kingdom and back.
From the transportation and ticket center.
Mm-hmm.
You just walked on water like...
Passing the Contemporary.
Okay. From the transportation and ticket center, passing the Contemporary.
Went in through the Magic Kingdom.
Underneath the bridge
under the
with
water
the water.
bridge.
Okay.
That's what she said, and it was very hard running back up.
Okay.
Yep. Went through the front.
I'm sorry, I was just stuck on the Golden Corral.
And back.
And then where in the Magic Kingdom did you stop?
We went in through the front gate, then into... Oh, you know what? We actually went around into Adventureland. Then we went into Frontierland. Then we went into... Where did we go?
It was like
Somebody
a
wanted to help me
shortcut.
What was probably the hardest stretch of the marathon? Or either the 5K or the half marathon, whichever one.
Well, The hardest stretch of the 5K, there was a point when, it was towards the end, and I ran under that water bridge, and then running back up that hill was the only time that I may have, did a little baby jog, because it's such a large incline.
Yeah.
And I really pushed myself. I did it in 30 minutes and 56 seconds, and it was actually a little less than that because I crossed the start line after the timer started. But, yeah, that hill was killer. That was the toughest part.
So tell me, for those of you that are just listening and not watching, Nicole is sporting this blue bandish thing across her head. What is this, dear? And what is it for?
This is called a Bondi band. It's like a runner or athletic headband, and it's supposed to keep your hair in place and stop, sweat and stuff. How glamorous. But my friend, Run Court Run, you were actually with me when she gave me this.
Oh, it was that one.
It was this one.
And it says, "We'll run for wine." I was with you when you got that, and you were jumping up and down and so excited.
Yes. Because it's like a really cool
what is it called again?
Accessory.
A Bondi band?
Bondi band.
Bondi band?
Bandy Bondi.
Okay.
Bondi band. And, yeah, she gave it to me, and she was like, "Oh, I heard you were running the Wine and Dine, and you can run." So I wore this for it. And this is my race shirt that I got. You can't see it. Sorry, I just flipped you.
Is it Wine and Dine-ish? Oh, look how cute it is.
Wine and Dine. It kind of looks like a burlap sack, the color.
I love that. It's got two little sneaker soles on it, but in between the sneaker soles, it makes the silhouette of a wine glass.
What did you think it was?
I just thought it was sneakers.
Okay. I thought it was wings.
Sneakers with a wine cutout in the middle. So what else does a runner need when they're going to run one of these things? What did you come equipped with while you were doing this?
Well, the key is as little as possible. I learned over the summer that running with less is more for me. I tried running with a spy belt, which is a cool little thing where you get to put stuff in, and I have one of those. I don't use it too much unless I need to carry nutrition and stuff. And I actually ran both of these races without music. I usually carry an iPod and do the whole music thing, and I didn't this time, and I was really glad that I didn't. Because
were you allowed to? Would they have let you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, they do. They do allow that. I've heard that really serious runners, don't run with it because it's, it can affect your time or whatever. I don't know.
Because you start running to the beat of the music rather than keeping your stride or something?
I think it may be that, or just having more on you to worry about, or, messing with the music or whatever it may be, but that certainly wasn't the case for me this weekend.
Oh, yes. Girlfriend may not have run with music, but she definitely ran while she was tweeting. Because while music may affect your running time, tweeting doesn't, apparently, right?
Well, what had happened was...
She was tweeting paragraphs while she was running.
We were all wondering how Nicole's doing, and she kept us up to date because we were getting tweets from her.
Well, I was sitting in the race corral, and they get you there so early. I mean, I think I was there 3 hours before race time started.
Oh, wow.
And I had been up I took an hour-and-a-half nap, but besides that, I was up for 24 hours, and I was very tired. I mean, everyone that was there knows this was a crazy weekend with tons of events. So I sat in the corral, and I was, sitting on this hard concrete, I can't believe this feels comfortable right now, and I could really just be out in 2 seconds. So I was on Twitter, and I was about to start the race, and then as I started the race, I was, tired and kind of bored because I didn't bring my music, and even though there was a lot of great race entertainment, so I was like, let me see because I had my phone because I needed it to get in touch with people, but I didn't bring my headset. So I said, let me just check Twitter, see what's going on. So then I saw, there were a couple motivational tweets from friends, and I was like, wow, that's really cool. Then the thing that got me the most, I crossed the 5K. It's like this little, you get this tag on your shoe called a D tag, and then it's like a split at every, they did at 5K, 10K, and 15K. So they tell you your pace then and how, when you get to it, because you've passed the little line. And apparently it came up immediately online, and Jay, or Cessna157 on Twitter, big shout out to him because he tweeted to me what my time was for the 5K, and I was like, oh my gosh, it was the official thing from the website, and I was like, I'm going that fast? Sweet! And then people were like, great, go Nicole, yay! And I was like, oh my gosh, this is awesome! So I just kept going, and then he tweeted again at the next split and the next split, and I was like, wow! And it told you actually right then what your race time would be if you kept going at that same pace, and it said 2:27, and my life goal is to well, I'm sure in my life it will get better in life, but right now the biggest thing to me was to run it sub 2:30.
Awesome.
I wanted to run it in under 2 hours and 30 minutes, and it said 2:27, and I was like, I'm doing it! So I just wanted to keep going and going and going, like the Energizer Bunny.
That
That's
is
great.
so cute. So he was your little personal cheerleader on the way.
Yes, it was really nice. I really appreciated it so much. And a lot of people on Twitter were just, I was like at mile 1 and then at mile 5, and people are like, wow, keep
So
going.
how did it work with this website thing that Disney or the Wide World of Sports had going? You could keep track of your runner. How does that work?
Well, I didn't look at it myself, but I know that you could go on there, and I think you just had to know the person's name, and you could sign up, and I think that they send you text messages, and I think it was just text messages that they would send you. I'm not quite sure.
Okay.
Because I wasn't tracking anyone.
Telling people where you were and the pace that you were going.
Yes, they would tell you at the split, of the different distances, how fast you were going, what your estimated time was to finish, and, what mile you were at one of those splits. So.
And there were characters on the way?
There were characters. At the 5K, there were many, many villains and, Halloween-ish type stuff. There was actually, at, mile 2 and something, a patch right in front of, by Space Mountain, a patch of grass as a rectangle that they had, put dirt over, and they had two, grave diggers there with shovels.
That's awesome.
And I was like, this is so, Halloween Horror Nights. This is not Disney-esque, but, it was done in a magical way, I guess. But it was really cool.
Magically horrific.
It was magically death. I don't know what it was, but
Supernatural.
It was cool. Supernatural.
It went from magical to supernatural.
I don't know how you resisted not taking pictures of... Hold on. Gotta
Many
go with
people
Jafar.
do it.
I
Start
know that
racing
he
in a
was
minute.
there.
Some people did do that. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Amanda, but I believe Amanda Tinney was saying that she would stop to take pictures with the characters on.
I believe Amanda would do that.
Yeah,
Jackie just said, it's magically horrific.
Scott, did you have any more questions for Nicole?
Well, I have a two-part question, actually.
Ooh.
So you might want to write this one down. I'm just kidding.
My pen.
You ready? One of the things was, obviously, everybody wants to know, how do you feel you did in your race? And at the end of the race, was there you obviously got a medal, but was there any other things that you got from running the race that were cool that you want to talk about?
Like bunions.
Wait.
Yeah, bunions.
Wait, what was the first question?
See, I told you should write it down. It was, how did you feel you did? How were your
right.
times? Did you feel happy with your race times?
Okay, yes. Well, my goal was to run it under 2 hours and 30 minutes. And I gave my goal for the 5K under 30 minutes. And both of these were within 2 or 3 minutes of what I had done before. And, race day, you get that extra push kind of to go,
Adrenaline.
Yes, the adrenaline and just the race day, magic, I guess you can call it. And I finished the 5K in 30 minutes and 56 seconds, actually a little bit less than that. And, I was within a minute of what I wanted. And for a runner, it's seconds that count really. If it would have been 29:59, I would have been yeah, I did it. But 30:56, I was I almost did it. I was still happy. And then I was actually really happy about the half time, because even though I didn't get it under 2 hours and 30 minutes, I stopped for a bathroom break at mile 1, which was at least a minute long. So I know technically in my heart, I did get my goal for that. But I kind of went back and forth with myself, because
They have bathroom breaks on the way?
they have porta potties that are absolutely glamorous.
And they don't take that off your time, though.
Okay.
No, they
Did
don't.
you just use the word glamorous and porta potty in the same sentence?
That was boat-loaded with sarcasm.
Oh. Okay.
I'd be stop the clock, it's
I
number
was
2!
I know that it's Disney, but can a porta potty actually be glamorous?
Let me share, too, that both Disney half marathons I've done, I've gotten to about a quarter mile in, and there'll be a chick in the bushes, all decked out runner gear, squatting, and she'll just turn around and at plain view,
A chick in the bushes.
everyone and this, for the princess half, people were just like, what
Please,
is she
somebody now go
doing?
to Twitter and get at bushchick.com and talk to us, please.
This girl had a tutu on and was going to town over in the bushes, and people are like, whoa, like, really? Wait for the porta potty. You know there's going to be one within a mile, which is like 10 minutes away for
All right,
runners.
I'm just kind of wondering where the toilet paper came from in that whole process. Did she, like, have it in her
Well,
spy
let's just
belt?
hope that it wasn't poison ivy that she grabbed when she grabbed.
Oh, my word.
Anyway,
It just goes, push chick, push chick, push chick, push chick.
bush chick.
Oh, that's
wait.
not very magical.
So to answer the question, yes, Scott, I was happy. I was happy with my time because of the craziness of the weekend. I knew I was tired, so just to make it was a stretch.
You know, I'm really proud of you because at least you weren't a bush chick.
I'm proud of you, Nicole.
Together.
They're already titling the show.
Oh no! I love our chat room so much.
That's not TP, that's an alligator.
Oh, you guys
dear.
are great.
Pumpkin
Oh.
Queen, take it, please.
Oh my.
Okay, Scott, part 2
no.
of that question so we don't lose it.
What was part 2, Scott? My
Oh,
brain's
what did you
too small.
receive other
It's
than the
gonna be
medals?
hard to come back from that.
Well, what we received, you got most of your cool stuff. When you go to sign up or to, like check in for the race, you get a bag that has your bib number and your pins in there, and lots of little advertisements for other races, and coupons for like Nesquik and random foods products that will make you a better runner or whatever. And I got this T-shirt. I usually get a backpack with the races, which I carried the princess half backpack around until it was in shreds. And I didn't get one for this race, which was different. But I got this medal, which I just love to bits.
That is a great medal.
And these little charms, let me just tell you, are grapes, sneakers, and cheese.
Oh, I didn't know what they
for
were.
wine and dine.
I looked at them, I didn't know what they were.
Wait, no, I gotta see this.
And it's really heavy. Isn't it heavy?
That is really,
That's awesome.
really cool.
And you got to go to the post-race party for free, of course.
And that's a step up from the ones that people got for the 5K, right? Because I was just seeing like little,
Yeah, this is the 5K one, which is cool.
like plasticky pumpkins.
Yeah, it's still cute, but it does
It's
light
cute,
up.
but this is stylish.
They also gave you a ticket for a free, they called it a sip and a bite,
Oh.
I think. And it really was a sip and a bite because
There was a
I
mix
got some
there.
of that cheddar cheese bacon soup from the Canadian booth,
The
and
one
she
that was
like
not to miss.
ladled in some soup, and I was like waiting for another ladle, and there wasn't one, and I was like, oh, well. And done.
It's a shot of cheese soup. Here's your
Shot of
shot
cheese
of cheddar cheese Canadian bacon soup or whatever it is, right?
But then at the beach club, we asked for a little sample of chili, and they gave us a portion. I was like, I don't have to buy it now. So, no consistency.
Yeah, that was
all
cool.
right. Well, okay, so we've kind of covered the objective stuff about what encompasses the wine and dine marathons, but I wanted to ask you some more things on a subjective level for you as a Disney fan and your experience.
Oh, wow.
Well, so the first thing on the list is to ask you, did Disney inspire your running? Was it vice versa? Or did these two separate things in your lives just happen to come together when Disney organized these
What
events?
a good question. I really have to say, I want to know that.
JL, that's an amazing question, and I think you're going to be very proud of my NDI answer.
Ooh, let's hear it.
Okay, so I started running back in the day, like 4 years ago, when I opened a magazine and Jessica Simpson had, was in a running outfit and said that's how she works out. And I was like, wow, I love her. She's so skinny. I'll try it. So then started, and then, my cousin said, oh, you run? Oh, okay, let's do a race together. My first race was a 4-mile race, and I'm around mile 2, I texted her and said, let me know when you're done, and I'm just going to leave the course. So I ended up finishing, did it right, and I said, I will never do a marathon. Then I found out about the Disney races, and she's in New York, my cousin, and she inspired me to start running, but she has this whole running group up there called the New York Road Runners, which all run together regularly, host races, and when I found the Disney Endurance Series website, I said, wow, this is like my local running club. it's only, it's just across town, and it's at Disney, and they always, they have races regularly throughout the year. And I said, okay, let me give this a shot. Well, I did the Expedition Everest 5K, and I think that was my first one, and was hooked. And then I did the Tower of Terror run, and I think that was a 5K and then a 13K. And I was like, well, I gotta move up in miles. I can't just stay at the same thing. So, and then I was like, wow, I think I want to do the Princess Half. And I was really just, I like to do like a mile or two, and that was it before I started these Disney races. And I just saw how cool they were, and I was like, it wasn't even about the running, really. I mean, the running's awesome. It keeps me in shape, and, it's fun to push yourself mentally and physically, but it's really about Disney. It really is. It's like getting to see it in a different way, and getting to participate in a physical event there, and yeah.
Okay, so it wasn't what initially started you. It was your cousin, but you were going to drop off with your cousin.
Yeah.
The thing that really kind of booted it back into place was Disney.
Yeah. And
I am so proud of you.
I know you would be. I knew it. And now I'm actually training for the Disney Marathon in January,
How long is that?
Girlfriend,
which is
oh my
26.2 miles.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
Really?
Estimate for me how long that is going to take you to run, because I can't even run for 5 minutes. I may not even be able to run for 3 minutes, and you already have hours.
I know I can go back in the show, and there's a part where you said you ran a 5K. So I'm not trying to call you out on this, but I'm totally calling you out on this.
Yeah, okay. That's true. When there's an ADR, all right, if I have an ADR I have to get to, I might be able to do it. Not a marathon, though.
My running days start when the Dole Whip station was closing at 10, and I had entered the park at 9:54, and I made it to Adventureland. So I'm just telling you, just
saying.
Just saying.
So, all right, well, so has Disney entered your training at all, or does it only really serve as like a destination goal?
Well, yes, it has entered my training. When I was training for the Princess Half this year, that was my first half ever, and I was so excited. I really wanted to do one of my bigger runs at Disney on property, so I said, let me check out some of the running trails at the resorts, and I found the Polynesian and the Grand Floridian had running trails, kind of. They have the path in between is supposed to be the running trail.
That black lava thing?
I guess.
I love it. Right, that black...
It goes past the wedding pavilion.
Yeah.
And so I went there, and I was doing an 8-mile run that day, and I did a whole lot of weaving around the Polynesian. I think I went back and forth like 4 times, but I did like my best time, I did like way faster miles just because, I was there, like, and if I was running towards the Grand Floridian, I would like see the castle and be like, yay! So it was really cool. And I also ran at Fort Wilderness once on the trail, and or the Wilderness Cabins, I'm sorry, when I stayed there. And so I try, definitely for the Walt Disney World Marathon, I'm going to go over there and do some of those really big mileage runs because I can, because I live here.
Do you ever pump the Disney tunes while you're running, or are you pretty much, you got to go with like Black Eyed Peas or something?
Oh, that's funny, because I do Black Eyed Peas all the time.
Well, if I was going to run, I'd do it to Black Eyed Peas, probably.
Yeah, and Miley probably, but...
No, because I'd want to like dance.
You want to dance?
Yeah,
okay. No,
I wouldn't be running.
Well, I actually ran, when I did the Tower of Terror run, my playlist was, like Bippity Boppity Boo and random old classics. So,
really?
Which definitely don't have a solid beat or anything, but...
No, that's really kind of
I just had to...
different.
I still have that playlist on my computer, which is, just a bunch of fun, magical music.
Now it's sentimental to you?
Yes, I can't delete it. It's so special. But
I play the parade and make believe I was in it.
Yeah.
He did that in the car with me before.
Yeah, but did you once say you do that when you're in the bathroom, John?
Then I wave. People wave back in my mind.
So when you go to the bathroom, are you going to pretend you're in the marathon now?
No, I'm not going to lie to myself.
Hey, Nicole.
I want to keep it as real as
Yes,
possible.
Scott.
We got a great question from the chat room from Tim Weston. He wondered if you had any advice to give any other runners that might want to do a Disney marathon, that maybe you could give them some advice on training and, or just things about the run itself that they should be prepared for.
Well, When you're starting to do the really big runs, like, half marathons and marathons, the hardest part about training for me has been finding a way to stay hydrated throughout the run, because I personally like to do, runs either from one destination to the next or out and back. And you'd have to, plant a water bottle in the bushes or something to have water along the way. So
You just let the
bush chick will take
hold it.
Bush chick will take care of it for you.
Oh, gosh.
Where is she? There's a rustle. There she is.
Oh, but those hands. She hasn't washed. The germaphobe would say that. Oh, gosh.
We didn't have water, but it'll work.
Yeah,
Yeah,
ew.
you might not know what's in your bottle.
Ew,
when
says
she
the
gives
germ.
it to you.
Oh.
Sorry.
Don't ask the bush
didn't
chick
need
for
to go
water.
there.
Okay, Tim.
Okay, back on track. Tips for the
Tips for the runners. So make sure you are able to have hydration with you somehow, either from a belt that has water or maybe a backpack.
Maybe one of those
or-
beer hats, but you fill it with water where the guys have the straws.
Well, they have backpacks.
Oh.
That would be
Yes,
more
they have
conducive to running.
Stuff,
They
actually.
have
that you can
backpacks with a
Don't
straw
get me started on
that comes
backpacks in the Magic Kingdom, where most people don't even know that they've got another 3 feet behind them and they smack into you when they turn around.
Like Charles.
I'm one of those people.
Just kidding. No,
No, but at least Charles has batteries.
Charles can charge the phones.
He didn't this trip, by the way. We have to talk about that.
Okay.
Wait, I had
So,
a few more tips.
yep. Take it.
Make sure that you get some small races in first before you go for the big ones. And
Let's define small races. Is that like a 5K or something smaller than that?
well, if you're training for a 5K, make sure that if you can't find like a mile race, because that might be hard, make sure that you have maybe some sort of. Well, if you're training for like a half marathon, make sure that you do a 5K first or another race, or set up something where you time yourself and you actually are pushing like you would for a race, and don't overdo it. So,
Okay.
and you can email me and I'll get personal if you have personal questions
Because
about
she has
running.
her own email now, y'all. Yay!
Hey,
I'm
now-
going to hold a
Nicole@NMS.com.
1K Dole Whip race. I'm going to have my own shirt. It's going to be my own event. I'm going to do my
coming.
own thing. You should do
Disney
it.
I'm coming
frankness.
because you know what? I'm going to set an ADR on the other side of the park.
You should
and
do
then
that.
I will do it just fine.
I have
You
to
should
tell
do
you
that.
guys, Disney Frankness wanted to do the Piglet race, and he said it's like 10 feet long or something. Or he
And
said
you have
the
the
Eeyore
pinwheels?
drop and roll.
I'm there.
Oh, yes. Wee!
Yeah, he was cracking me up with his race
Oh,
suggestions.
I love it. All right. So, what was going through your mind as you were running through the park? And did it serve as a motivation or a distraction in terms of focus? Because, you're running and you want to stay focused and you're trying to make a certain amount of time. Does the fact that Cinderella's castle is there, or, there's Goofy on the side, is it a motivation like, woo, keep going, yeah? Or is it like, ooh, and you know,
Squirrel.
yeah, squirrel.
Well, for me, it is definitely a motivation. As I'm running, usually in my mind is just step, step, step. No, there's a lot of things going through there. Pretty much just how far till the next water thing, what mile am I at, and I'll usually repeat times in my head to, get myself farther. But for this race, for the half marathon, I was so surprised at the amount of entertainment that there was throughout the whole course. I mean, literally, there was this band that was so cool. One of the live bands. I think it was one that plays at Epcot regularly. I don't know. I could be making that up. But they were
Kilter?
playing. No, it was like a pop band.
Mulch, Sweat, and Shears?
But it was like a cool stage set up in the middle of that big highway by Disney, and the guy was singing the "Give Me the Green Light" song, and they had like all these lights going, and it was like that's like a popular thing in this show. I don't know what's going on, but it was great, and I was like, yeah, running. And so if there wasn't a DJ, there was music. If there wasn't music, there was like I ran by Expedition Everest, and they had this huge speaker with like the Yeti was coming out, and then they had like dinosaur noises by Dinosaur.
When did the hallucinations begin? At what mile?
Oh, this guy. So there was plenty of entertainment to keep me going, and then really what I was thinking about the whole time was
Or
just
did they put those noises there to freak you out and make you run faster?
well, if there was a Yeti, I would be turbo speed. But I couldn't stop thinking about people at the finish line because a whole bunch of friends surprised me. I didn't think anyone was going to be there because it was like $35 to get in. I didn't expect anyone to pay that or to stay up that late. I wasn't even done till like 12:30 or something. And John spilled the beans a few days early. But other people spilled the beans, too.
There was a reason, though. Why did I spill the beans? Because you said, I don't think I'm even going to the after party. I'm like...
Or I said I have another group of friends that are going that I might meet up with, and he said, don't make definite plans. Make sure that you go. So, no, Cheryl, I didn't do fundraising for this. Now I feel bad. But they don't require you to. There are other races, and I plan on doing it when I have more time. I have ideas. I'm actually going to help Tim Weston raise money for his by doing a virtual race we talked about. So we're going to start planning that soon, hopefully. Right, Tim? Right.
Fun. All right, well, so how did this experience overall differ from other races?
Well, you mean like Disney races versus regular?
Yep, that's exactly what I mean. Ooh, we are on the same wavelength tonight.
Mm-hmm. Well, I did a 9-mile race in downtown Orlando the weekend before this one, which was really fun. Racing has grown on me now since I've started to do the Disney races. So I do them just to, keep up, because there's not as many Disney races as I'd like. One every weekend. But, it's definitely fun. It's a fun running event, but it's not Disney where you have, cool lights like every 20 feet and blasting music and characters and, for the Princess Half, there was like a big pink balloon thing that you run through. And then for this one in Animal Kingdom, they had these big red horns that looked like you were like running under them. And it just, the Disney races are just the best. If you're ever going to run a race, I mean, obviously, I think you guys in the chat like Disney. You guys watching, you may or may not like Disney, not sure. But, it's just, those are the best races out there. I may be biased, but
all right.
They're awesome.
Well, so, and how did these cheerleaders, because they have the cheerleaders cheering you on along the way, right? How does that, affect you, if at all, while you're racing?
Absolutely is the best thing for me. I mean, seeing the people on the sidelines, whether you know them or not. For the 5K, I was coming in at the end, and the whole group of the Be Our Guest podcast crew had, they had a Be Our Guest cheer section sign, and I just saw that in all of them, and I actually ran the 5K in the pig costume from the Geico commercial. I had the spin wheels and everything, and
Why did I not see this?
I didn't see that either.
I'll have to show you guys a picture, but
you have to.
They saw me earlier, and they were like, "Oh, we know who you are," and I was like, "Yay, wee!" So as I was coming in, they all were going, "Wee!" And I was like, "Yeah!" And I just heard that, and I sprinted as fast as my little legs could take me. And the same thing happened, like the last half mile of the half marathon. Random people had signs that were like, "You're almost there, you're almost finished, you did it," and all this stuff, which, it had no name on it. It was just for the runners, which was so nice that those people come out and support like that. And, that made me run fast. But then there was this last corner that you came around right before the finish line, and I saw it, and I heard the DJ say, "Wow, they're coming real fast around that corner." And when I heard that, I was like, "That's going to be me." And I came around that corner.
She's so cute. I cannot stand it.
Sorry, I love running and I love Disney, so I'm like in my little
I'm just wondering if Bush Chick went wee all the way home.
Oh, no!
Bush Chick went wee in the first mile. She couldn't hold it.
Oh, and this is where Inner Mouse goes south. Okay.
Sorry, guys. So I came around that corner, and I heard, I'm pretty sure it was Charles go, "Nicole!" And then I just heard, like, all of my awesome, 20 friends that were at the finish line for me. And I just, I was like a Kenyan. I ran so fast. You could have been like, "Is that a gazelle?" I just
Nicole
sprinted
the Kenyan.
as fast as I could. So they definitely make it, just to have someone there for you like that is...
Now, is that normal? Do other races have the cheerleaders?
Yeah, a lot of races have a section at the finish line where you can wait for your, runner to come in and stuff. But I feel like at Disney, there are way more people with signs just cheering you on generally, so...
Okay. What are you,
John, what's so funny?
I'm reading the chat room.
Are they...
The Bush Chick could be watching right now, and they were waiting for that one.
Bush Chick, you're part of the race entertainment, girlfriend.
That's me! I'll see you at the next one.
I hope you didn't get anything on your tutu.
Oh, my. Okay, moving on. So, at this point, talking about cheerleaders, we kind of wanted to shift the conversation to talking about, the spectator's point of view of the weekend, which would shift us over to John, because you were a spectator and
Yay.
you were one of Nicole's cheerleaders, right?
I'm not saying yes to that, no. Yes, I cheered you the whole way. I really did.
Right, John.
I really was a cheerleader for her. But it was a little bit was inside. It was all locked up here. Cheer. Such cheer.
All right,
And occasionally,
so John,
yeah.
well, tell me, what is the role and the responsibility of a spectator? Like, what kind of things did you do to cheer Nicole on in body or in spirit?
Well, when you get, first of all, you have to try to figure out when is she going to be at the finish line and when should we be at this Epcot after party.
You mean you don't just wait there for 3 hours until she shows up?
No. You hope you figure, Nicole, how fast are you? Yeah? All right, we figure we got to get away from the Magic Kingdom about this time, and then we'll be there. And then we did. Okay. And we got there probably, I would say, within about a half hour with him.
We have to tell about Rob Whitney's awesome math that he was doing.
Was he doing? I didn't know who did the math.
I heard that he was looking at the pace thing that Jay
Oh,
kept tweeting out.
yes. And they figured that based on your running, you'd be at mile 12. And just about when they thought that, you had tweeted with Foursquare mile 12. But then I had a text message like 10 minutes later that said mile 12. And they were all waiting for you. And I said, nope, she just got to mile 12. And they knew like Foursquare had lied or something. And they're like, ah.
Well, it was Hollywood Studios. I checked in, I think.
Okay, yeah. So, but they have, you actually got into Epcot through Future World, walked over to the International Gateway, and then you left the park again. You just had to have your wristband. They didn't check tickets. You left the park again, and they had this grassy area with these big...
Your wristband for the after party.
For the after party.
Okay.
These big white light balloons, I will call them.
Yes.
That the bugs the size of stuffed animals were flying around, and Grumman was written on their wings, I saw. They were there, and there was bleachers set up, and it really was like a race ending. But what was funny is they saw Nicole, then we had to run back into the park and go to where the Millennium Village is and wait for her. And then I got a text that said, she said, long line to get your bag. So it was another 40 minutes before she came out, and the crowd was literally ridiculous.
Really?
Worth every minute to do this for Nicole, really. I'll preface every complaint I have, it's true, sweet. Every complaint I have, I'm going to preface with, worth it to do it for Nicole. But a lot of complaints from the runners that in a normal day when Epcot's doing food and wine, you have to pay for the food, so there's less people up there. Now, everybody that's in the park has a free coupon, so every one of the 14,000 runners and all the people that may have come for them, 20, 30,000 people total, had a free coupon. So the lines were 45 minutes to get a little...
They were longer than that day in the park, because they were long.
Double to triple.
Oh, my word.
A lot of runners
complained
that they could not use
line.
their coupon.
Wow.
And we did not use our food coupon. We didn't use it.
Actually,
that's
I did.
a shame.
I got an ice cream from a
We got
stand
an ice
with it.
right. We got a Gatorade with the food coupon.
Well, okay, so let me ask you. Now, you mentioned meeting her at the finish line. Is there a way for spectators to kind of get to certain spots along the race to cheer the same person on as they hit certain points, and you just kind of follow them that way, or you just have to show up at the end?
Not that I could see, but I bet that you probably could have went to the studios. Were there people cheering on when you passed the studio point?
Well, the parks are empty at that point. They
Okay.
don't have people in them, but they do, like for the Princess half, they had multiple spots that you could go. They would say, here you can watch from by, whatever landmark they would tell you. For this race, I wasn't sure if they did that or not. I don't think they did, but all the
noticed,
people
like, bleachers in the parking lots and
Oh,
stuff.
really?
Yeah.
Well, maybe then. Maybe.
But I didn't
But then I
see
guess you'd have to
people on
see
the
her
bleachers.
and then go run to either the next spot or run
Right,
to
well,
the
that's
after
what
party.
I'm wondering, if that's even an option or not.
And it's
There
funny
were-
because you could see her pass right before the finish line, but then you had to run back into the park to the Millennium Village and wait
was
with a
weird.
crowd and hope you could find her. It was to me, it was a little hard to find your person.
Okay, so there's not designated times. There's designated places, but not necessarily times. You're just kind of basing it on communication with your runner.
Sure.
So does that mean that all the runners tweet like Nicole?
I bet you.
Or they're just going by that website?
It was like an airport. It was like an airport gate, and you knew that the plane was arriving, and the people would come out and get hugged by someone eventually. That's really what it was like.
Okay.
And everybody was limping. I saw people that looked like they were in really, running shape, and they were like...
Cheryl said I saw runners pass the boardwalk sign from my room, and we ran by the boardwalk and then on the beach club, and at beach club was like one of the only points that wasn't the finish line. That's where they started. Like, it started getting thicker and thicker to the finish line. There were a lot of people there, so that was one point.
All right.
Watch.
Well, now, John, so did you feel inspired to participate when you watched, or did you at least get caught up in the moment of the person?
I knew that I would never be able to do 13 miles, but I knew after what I walked that day, and speaking to people, I definitely could have done the 5K. So I really was inspired that I probably will do a 5K.
Yay!
Like next year?
Like next year, yeah, I will.
You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, I'm going to do my Dole Whip one for real. I'm going to sponsor an Inner Mouse Dole Whip race. We're going to probably go from the hub to the Dole Whip and eventually, and that's it. I mean, it's going to be a quickie.
What if
but
we
it'll
do
be
like
fun.
a Dole
You're
Whip
gonna be like
balancing?
taking out little children in strollers along the way.
Yes, little children must
You could
go.
take Jillian's shortcut.
What, Jillian? Oh, Jillian Davis is not here. I would really... She gave us a shortcut to get out one night. Oh boy. We'll talk about that another show.
Inner Mouse episode.
It's another Inner Mouse episode.
All right, so now you paid the price of a ticket for this after party.
And again, it was for Nicole. It was not for what Epcot gave you. It is not worth the price.
So
of the
it is
ticket.
not worth the price. You paid $35 and basically to do the food and wine.
But you really weren't able to
from
do the food and
12
wine.
to 3. Okay.
No attractions.
Even at 3:00.
There were no attractions.
No
open.
attractions.
If you ask me, it wasn't worth it because you paid to get in to pay to eat. You know, I mean...
And you heard the runners even... I mean, I heard a lot of people saying this is ridiculous. Like, put it this way. For Nicole, there must have been 13 people there, 14 people?
Maybe, I think more than that.
More than that. So 20? Let's just say 20. Now, even if you had... How many runners? 11,000? Mm-hmm. Let's say the average was 5 people went to the after party. You calculate that. And she had 20, so... It just was too much. They should have halved it and said, that's it. There's a limit on the tickets so that everybody can enjoy what was offered. You can't. You just couldn't enjoy it.
Well, and I was also kind of wondering, do you feel like it's kind of like a conflict of interest here when you've got this like healthy marathon type theme going on and then you go straight to this food and wine festival where people are supposed to be like gorging on food and wine?
They were handing
That
out beer to the
bothered
runners,
me.
yeah.
Yeah, the thing that bothered me a little bit was, if it was like a 5K or something, absolutely go and, get a little water in you and maybe something else and then have fun and eat and drink. But for this, this is 13.1 miles. I mean, this is a stretch for some people, a lot of people. And they had signs along the course that was like, 5 more miles and you get beer. It was like, oh my goodness.
You see, but if they told me pizza in 5 more miles, it would do something.
So that would be a motivator for John.
Via
So
Napoli,
there's no conflict.
Via Napoli's coming.
So there's no conflict for you in this,
Not at all.
eat, drink, and
You need a reward.
gluttony.
Not gluttony, but
along
you need
the
a reward.
line, along with the marathon. See, now, like with something like that, if I had run 13 and something miles and then I'm eating and drinking, I'd become a bush chick for a different reason. I'd be like,
Yeah, but you're already at the Golden Corral, so did you really need that?
Corral.
It really wasn't healthy though because you should, properly eat and hydrate after a race, and they weren't advertising that. So,
What do you eat? What's properly eating and drinking after a race?
well, I've heard a lot of things. I know you're supposed to drink water, every 15 minutes or so before a race, and then I think you have to definitely carbo load before, lots of carbohydrates to provide energy, and then after, I think you're supposed to have protein. I know, like after they say a great thing to eat is like chocolate milk or drink because it has the perfect amount of protein and sugar that you need. So
Chocolate milk, huh? That is very interesting. I would not have thought that. All right. So this brings us to the third point of view for the weekend, which is, the guest who is not participating in the marathons. And that would have been me. So some of the things that I noticed were that the crowds were slightly up, more so than they had been throughout the rest of September. I mean, would you agree?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, I have not done Food and Wine Festival before. Was that normal for Food and Wine Festival, or did it seem like more because
During the after party or Food and Wine itself?
No, just regular day at the park.
Busier than usual, and that's because it first started, but that is normal.
yeah, it was opening
If
weekend.
you go midweek during the middle of Food and Wine Festival, it's so much more manageable, dealable, and enjoyable.
So you don't feel like the marathon really played into the park levels at all?
I think it still would have been really crowded because of the beginning of this Food and Wine event.
All right, yeah.
And it's getting more popular every year.
Well, and the thing also about this weekend was there was also lots of other activities going on. You know, on Twitter we all had the hashtag, pound Epic October. And
Hectic October.
Hectic October, as John calls
John
it.
renamed it Hectic October.
Which is very fitting.
But, I didn't participate in any of the races, but I was loving every minute of this weekend. I just floated from event to event to event. And so, Friday, I went to the Be Our Guest podcast Treehouse meet. You all were there with me.
Awesome.
Loved it.
Met some lovely people. I mean, the community that surrounds that podcast and that radio station.
Amazing people.
We were so very, very impressed. After that, I went to the Lou Mangello's walkabout, where he kind of walked around the World Showcase testing different foods.
I saw you there, didn't I?
Foods.
Yeah, I saw you
we
there.
all went kind of for a bit.
He tested different foods, to give reviews about what they were, and he was doing some video stuff. So we all kind of followed him around for a little while, and then you all went to the Taylor Dane
who
concert.
tweeted us.
Taylor
who
Dane.
We yelled at her.
We were in the front row. She loved us.
What did we yell for her?
We brought it.
She tweeted to us, "Bring it," after I said we loved her, and we yelled, "We brought it!"
She
and
stopped.
Don and Mary and Charles and everybody that was with us. I can't think of everybody's name. Jim. They loved it. And then she
Very
retweeted us
exciting.
afterwards, so she remembered us.
Right, so that was kind of Friday.
Yep.
It was a long day, and then we had to wake up and do more on
Then we were with
Saturdays.
Jackie that night at Via Napoli with her family.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
That was Jackie.
Yeah, lots of ADRs in the middle of all that. So Saturday, Lou Mangello had his meet of the month at the boardwalk, so I was there.
I missed it because I was running. But
It was delightful. Once again, just incredible people. He's got his whole entourage, but he is really surrounded by a good group. Those are good people.
Very.
I really,
Nice guy.
really enjoyed it. Spending time
Even the
catching up.
AJ, the food blog.
Was she there? I don't know if
Foodie
AJ was.
Fest. No, the Foodie Fest
I
one.
haven't gotten to
I'm
Sunday
sorry.
yet. I'm
I'm
sorry.
so sorry.
just
Saturday.
going in order.
So Saturday was Lou Mangello's meet of the month on Boardwalk. Then we walked from there into Epcot, and then there was the Moms Panel meetup at the Odyssey in Epcot, which was glorious.
Well, you guys did the Moms panel. I went to
Sounds
the
like
Be Our
Jon
Guest
Stewart when she
scavenger
does
hunt, and
that.
it was amazing.
What was amazing?
The Be Our Guest scavenger hunt around the monorail was
I didn't even know they had that.
awesome. Jackie and Keith ran it. They have a book coming out called Attention to Detail, and that was what the
Ooh.
scavenger hunt
Yes.
was about. Just you had to take pictures in front of the stuff that they had pictures of, and it was really, really cool. I loved
Oh,
it.
lovely. And I had a lovely time at the Moms Panel meetup. I just floated around the room talking to Moms Panel people and Moms Panel wannabes like myself and other, individuals like Len Testa who were there. And it was just this great thing. They had free desserts. And I got to be in the Odyssey because I haven't been in it since I was 12 years old and used to get my hamburgers there.
Remember that?
Oh, they were the best. Bring back the Odyssey, guys, for real, please.
Even the Tangaroa Terrace, the Polynesian, I remember.
I
The
don't
chat
remember
is
that.
calling someone the Podfather, and I'm laughing.
Lou Mangello.
Sorry. That's hilarious.
So, right. So that was kind of Saturday stuff. And then Sunday, everybody woke up, went to Foodie Fest.
That was
Foodie Fest.
awesome.
With AJ. Now, I had hit a wall at that point. So I didn't make it to the beginning. Did anything happen that I missed?
I got there fairly late as well because I had to sleep because I ran the night before.
So what time did you get there?
I think I maybe got there about 12, and it was great. It was just people coming and going, and I was just tickled because I got to meet some people that I enjoy listening to or reading their material. Like Matt Hochberg was there.
Yep.
And love his podcast. Love Steve Barrett was there, Hidden Mickey guy.
Oh, his wife is fantastic.
Oh,
Didn't
too.
get to meet
Big
her.
Red Dog was
You
there.
are amazing.
Nate was there. Tim Weston was there.
So
Everyone-
Scarlett and the baby was there.
AJ was there.
Everybody was
I
So
love
there.
what? So what exactly happened while I wasn't? Because when I got there, things were winding down, but there was food. Yes, I missed that part.
When I got there late too, and I think I missed that. I heard there was Rice Krispie treats.
Yeah, I had my
and
eye on one and
something
somebody
else.
stole it. I didn't get to it in time.
Shucks.
Was it Margot?
No. Oh, Margot was there.
And DK
Miller
was
came
there.
up and hugged me so nice. He was like, "I'm not going to let my sisters get you before me."
I know.
was
Everyone's
there.
fighting over Panda.
That was fun. I liked that. They
Yeah.
were there.
Cheryl and Todd were there.
They were the Perlmutties.
The Perlmutties.
The Perlmutties were there.
She had a very successful meet. This was her first one, right?
Yes, I think. Was it John? Was it
Go
a first?
girl.
Was it?
I'm not sure.
AJ's first meeting? I don't know.
Whatever
Some
it was.
room she had, though.
It was
That
awesome.
was like big buck room there.
Totally.
That was really cool.
NDK, 49, and family, DVC mom and people,
Yes.
they were there.
They were there.
Why are you
know.
singing?
I don't know.
That's funny.
They were there. It just sounds good.
So from there, I kind of traipsed back to Epcot, and I helped host the Touring Plans Margarita meetup, which was...
I wanted
You
to
were
go
there.
so bad.
You know what? Okay, that was me in my glory moment. I loved it. They had 40-something people RSVP, and then over 80 showed up.
Wow.
I really wanted to go.
So I flitted around the thing, taking everybody's drink orders, because Len was, paying for everybody to have food and drink. It was amazing.
Wow.
So
Very nice.
he went to the counter to get all this stuff, and I think we ended up getting more than we actually ordered because everybody just lost track, and I think they were just giving us food and drinks until we went away. We got to a point where we'd come up to the counter, we're like, no, we were supposed to get 2 more aqua frescas, and they're like, here's 5. Go. Take them, pass them out.
Get out of my hair.
Yeah, go away. So, and that was so much fun. A lot of people, and again, I love the WDW Today podcast people.
Yes.
Just really quality people, and I saw so many faces. I got to meet so many of you and put faces to avatars.
Which I loved. Oh my
It's
gosh.
wonderful. Okay, moving on. So then after that was the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party, the Be Our Guest Booty You Parade meetup, and the costume contest.
Okay,
That's
all
a good
wonderful,
list.
but more crowded than usual. Wait, do midweek Mickey's Not So Scary.
Yeah, was it? Because that was my first Halloween party, so
Should be less crowded than that.
Okay, it was very crowded. I mean, there was one point where you're walking like this.
All right, but Carlotta, wasn't that great in front of the Haunted Mansion?
Yes, she
Can't really go
was.
into
Went
too
to
much.
town
We'll
with
save that for the
Chris.
Halloween show.
Yeah.
Hotbox Fiend, we will be doing Halloween show.
Yes, but my daughter Ellie, my 6-year-old, she won the costume contest.
She did?
She
You
did.
didn't tell us this.
Oh my
She
gosh,
told
did
me.
you not see her just beaming?
No.
She was Little Bo Peep from Toy Story 1 and 2,
Oh, God.
and she had a little sheep with her that
The
actually moved and went "Bleh,
So
bleh."
cute.
So they told her that her sheep, put her over the edge, and she won the contest, and she was just like, "Ee." So, right. With all of that going on, I was just exhausted as it was, and it's really, really hard for me to imagine participating in a marathon because I feel like I would have missed so much. I would have missed so many people because I would have either been running a race or preparing to run in the race. Did you feel like that? I mean, would you have rather separated the two events so that you could enjoy them separately, or did you like it that it came together like that?
I enjoyed that it all was on the same weekend. I had planned on doing the races anyway because I'm training for the full marathon in January. So, and then all these other events just kept popping up, and it just became Epic October 2010, and I loved it. I really do just want to take a minute and thank everyone that was at the finish line for me. I mean, I just was taken. It was so special to me, and I just want to thank everyone that tweeted or supported me in some way because it really just meant the world to me. And thank you guys so much. I can't thank you enough, really. Thank you. Just said thank you like 10 times.
Are we on time? Did we run away? Did we run out?
Do we have enough time to do shout-outs?
Yes. So
Scott, how you doing?
Oh, we kind of forgot about
Hey,
Scott.
Scott. Sorry, I'm
Yeah,
long
all right.
He's still
Hey, I
with
just
us,
want to do
buddy.
a quick, just a reminder, if anybody has any questions for Nicole about running or for preparing for a Disney race, her email address is nicole@innermouse.com. And if you have any questions for any one of us, of course, to contact the Panda, you contact John at innermouse.com, JL at, and Scott at, if you have a question. If it's just a general question about the show or a comment, it's show@innermouse.com. Thanks a lot, guys. Let's do the shout-outs.
Thank you, Scott.
Welcome. Love you.
Shouting out to the MVPs this week, we have NDA number 15, Gabby B in Florida.
Hi, Gabby.
NDA number 16, Kimberly K in Maryland.
Hi, Kimberly.
NDD number 13, Wade M in Canada. Hi,
Hi,
Wade. NDD number 14, Christian V in Montana. Hi, Christian. NDGM number 15, Gina H in Oregon.
Hi,
Gina. NDGM number 16, Mildred G in California.
Hi, Mildred.
NDI number 15, Tyler F in Texas.
Hi, Tyler.
NDI number 16, Stacy D in Ohio. Hi, Stacy. NDK number 15, Rachel E in Michigan. Hi, Rachel. NDK number 16, Stephanie G in Massachusetts. Hi, Stephanie. NDM number 16, Mickey E. Yes, her name really is Mickey. Mickey E in Kansas. Hi, Mickey. NDM number 17, Alyssa D in Washington. Hi, Alyssa. NDM number 18, Margaret E in New Jersey. Hi, Margaret. NDM number 19, Christy Z in New York. Hi, Christy. NDH number 11, Kevin W in Kansas. Hi, Kevin. NDH number 12, James M in Texas. Hi, James. NDT number 15, Emily E in Florida. Hi, Emily. NDT number 16, Nick N in Pennsylvania. Hi, Nick. NDU number 13, Chaz A in Florida. Hi, Chaz. NDW number 13, Katie M in Oklahoma. Hi, Katie. NDW number 14, Nicole W in Tennessee. Hi, Nicole. NDGD number 3, Ray S in Tennessee. Hi, Ray. NDGD number 4, Brad P Sr. in Michigan. Hi, Brad. We are so proud of you for standing up and being counted. If you too want a position on the NDP roster, let us know. Send us an email to becounted@thedisneydrivenlife.com. We need your first name, last initial, home state, your Twitter handle if you have one, and be sure to let us know if you want to be a mom, dad, husband, wife, grandmom, granddad, auntie, uncle, individual, teen, or kid, or critter. We keep saying that.
Hi, bush chick.
So with that, we're wrapping up this episode of Inner Mouse. Live the life.
Thank you so much, guys. Is that inner mouth? Sometimes it squeaks. Sometimes it just gotta come out the inner mouth.
What are you singing?
15-minute mile requirement, and if you don't do the mile in 16 minutes, supposedly they have this little golf cart thing that will come around and pick you up. So they say 16 minutes, but from my experience, like this weekend, I ran the 5K, and then, which was Saturday morning, and then I went around and got in the cheer section and cheered all my friends in that were, coming in still, and there were, people coming for much longer than what seemed to be 16-minute miles. So I think as long as you are out of where they need you to be, then you'll be okay. And it was really precious. In front of the little sweeper wagons, or whatever they call them, there was
Out for the sweeper wagon.
the very last people that were finishing the race. Yeah, watch out for the sweeper wagon. Mickey and Minnie, dressed in their Halloween costumes, actually went over to them and grabbed their hands and walked with them across the finish line, which was like, just like the closing of the 5K. It was really magical, and everyone was like, oh, that's so cute. So that was really special. So that's what they do for that.
That's very cool. Very cool. Well, you did 2 of the runs, as far as I know. And where did both runs start and end?
Well, the Mickey's Halloween 5K fun run, or whatever order those words go in, was at the Magic Kingdom. It started at the Transportation and Ticket Center, and it went through the road that goes by the Contemporary that has the big hill, which is never fun to run up, and it went through that way, and then we went into the Magic Kingdom through the gates, which was really cool, around down Main Street, in Tomorrowland, and just all around Magic Kingdom, and then out and then back the same way to the Transportation and Ticket Center. It was very cool.
That is cool.
And then
What about the second run?
the second run, we basically went to California and back. No, it was really cool. We started at the Wide World of Sports. We then went to Animal Kingdom first, and then Hollywood Studios, and then into Epcot. So in that one day, I got to run through all 4 parks. That one started at 10:30 at night, so got a night view of all the parks. It was really cool.
Go ahead and email John at john@innermouse.com. And it works the same for all of us. JL at, Nicole at, and Scott at. So thanks to Shane for that great idea. It was awesome. And thanks to Mike for making it happen for us. And I believe that's it.
Thank you very much, Scott. Now to continue on with our episode. We thought we'd start off this episode by first talking about the marathons more from an objective type standpoint. And we were going to be directing those questions to Nicole, since she was the one of the four of us who actually participated in the event. And I believe Scott wanted to start us off with that as well.
What you got, Scott?
Well, I'm taking over. Look out. It's going to my head, this new office here, this whole new Inner Mouse office I got going on.
You look
It's going to my
awesome.
head. Well, I have some questions for you, Nicole. One of the things that kind of freaks me out, because I've never been there for a race, is they do these races in the morning, and they have all these people running in through the park. How do they get all the people out before they open the park?
Well, what happens is there is a 6.
Living the life around the world. It's time for Inner Mouse, your Disney lifestyle destination, with Scott, JL, John, and Nicole. Oh boy! Ha!
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Inner Mouse, the Vidcast for those who are striving to lead a Disney-driven life. I'm JL from the DisneyDrivenLife.com. With me tonight are John, columnist for the Disney Food Blog, Scott from CollectTheMouse.com, and Nicole, NDI, neurotic Disney visual extraordinaire. We have a very exciting episode again for you this evening. We're going to be discussing the inaugural Wine and Dine Marathon weekend that just took place at Disney World. And we're going to be talking also about the role that it played in approximately 14,000 running Disney fanatics.
Wow.
The event included a half marathon, a half marathon relay, 5K, kids races, a health and fitness expo, and a finish line party. And our very own team Inner Mouser Nicole here participated in this event. So we felt that it was timely to find out from her how this type of thing affected her as she's leading her Disney-driven life. But before we get into all of that, we need to take care of some mousekeeping. And we're going to defer to Scott to take care of that for us. Scott?
I'm so not prepared.
Is he the mousekeeper?
I think so.
Housekeeper.
We're going
Yes, we do. The cool thing was, and I got to give a big shout out to my buddy Shane out on, and it's Shane. Oh yeah, nice. But he is at Shane O'Might on Twitter. But he suggested last week that we really should get some email addresses for us, and we have since done that. And that's a huge thanks to Mike, and his Twitter account is at Main Street Disney. It's at Main ST Disney. And Mike has really been helping us out with the website and stuff. And thanks a lot, Mike. We really appreciate it. So if you have any comments or questions or anything about the show, you can basically, very simply, just email show@innermouse.com. It's that simple. And if you have something specific for, let's say, John, you have a question about pandas and how they hibernate, go ahead and email John